It's March 2025 and court has sat again at Kurri Kurri local court, so it's time for another episode of the real crimes of Kurri Kurri. There was the usual 30 odd people on the court list. Many people didn't show up and the court proceeded without them. So on this day they got through the court list within 2 hours. There was maybe like 2 solicitors working the court. Most defendants were unrepresented and I spent a lot of time in an empty courtroom gallery. There's no update on the Kurri quartet as their cases are still adjourned. That's the 4 people co-accused of an alleged crime, which I haven't worked out yet what it is because it hasn't been said out loud. By the way, in the past I've unsuccessfully attempted to apply to know the charge in other cases. I get refused because I'm just a member of the public. Therefore, there's not enough grounds for me to know the charge. If I was media, that would be different, but I'm not media. Basically, as just a member of the public, I am more successful working out the charge if I just listen from the gallery. Yes, for members of the public, it can be tricky to know what the police charge the person with, but that's just how our legal system is. Anyways, there are 2 new cases from this day that I suggest we put on our watch list. First is brought by local council. The lady has been charged with failing to comply with an investigation. We hear it's a council matter and this case could be dealt with in the Land and Environment Court. Because there's no one to explain to us in the gallery what this means, I've got you covered. It's not hindering a police investigation. Rather, when you hear council and Land and Environment Court, it's likely to relate to an investigation into environmental harm or pollution. If the case stays here at Kurri local court, the maximum penalty is a fine of maybe 1,000 penalty units. But if it goes to the Land and Environment Court, the maximum fine can be $50,000 plus all the court costs associated with going to the Land and Environment Court. The lady has pled not guilty, so the magistrate orders a brief to be served. They will return in April to check that the paperwork is all shipshape before a hearing is set over at Cessnock local court later in the year. The second case I would recommend we follow is a guy, but I'm not sure what he's actually charged with. It wasn't said out loud. However, the charge isn't the interesting part of the case. The guy has pled not guilty and a hearing is set in June over at Cessnock local court. The magistrate notices that there is no complainant, there's no statement, and there's no DVEC. DVEC is a recorded statement. There is police body-worn footage. However, from the conversations, there may be an issue, meaning there could be a possibility that the footage is non-compliant. This case is interesting because I think we are going to see the court go through the process to ensure that all the evidence used to charge this guy complies with the evidence rules. I've observed hearings before where the police body-worn footage has been found to be non-compliant and then it can't be used, and in one particular case it was the only evidence. So a case without evidence means, could this happen in this Kurri case? We will find out in June over at Cessnock local court.